What's up, everybody? Welcome to the RGL Season 4 Highlander quarterfinals. We're in the playoffs now. This is it. Everything's going to be on the line, and we're going to see some of the best Highlander of this season so far. I am Kresnik. Joining me so far on this cast, you guys haven't seen me all season, but glad to be here, and I'm joined by Zagron and Flair.
Hey,
So,
how's it
guys,
going?
yeah, glad to have you here, guys. I want to know, going into this now, obviously, my team didn't play this season as we kind of baited the hell out of everybody going into it, but didn't get to play. Been busy. I don't know what's going on. Some people watching might not either. I know this is the second seed versus the third seed, but what's the big story behind this matchup?
All right, well, to start out, this is a Fred 5 versus Amaciti Nova. Fred 5 is a team grouped around the former Brampton, or the Brampton squad that's been, kind of around Invite for a long time. They're pretty well-established players, and they come in with a 6-1 record, only losing to AD. So they're a likely favorite to get to grand finals to face AD again, but they still have they've shown that they're very good, but they have things to work on. The other side, Amaciti Nova, they're pretty much invite newcomers. They're up and comers. They came into the season, probably didn't have the highest expectations, as well as no one else really had that high expectations for them. But they managed to go 5-2, third highest record as the third seed. They only lost to AD and Fred 5 here, so they're a bit of a surprise to see. But they've been very good over the season, and they're a pretty exciting team to come up to invite.
In general, how big would you say, for Flair, this is for you, how big would you say the gaps are between the seeded teams? Is it like a hard cut, or do you think that any of these teams next to each other in seeding have potential to have really close games against each other?
I think it's a bit of a hard cut. You might see Amicitia pull some rounds, but I really don't think you're going to be able to see them really upset full maps against them. The problem is, ultimately, I think the problem is that we're going to see a very, very clear difference in deathmatch capabilities. I think the Fred 5 team is just way too experienced when it comes to taking the fights that matter. They know how to pull it off, and Amicitia being more of the invite newcomers, they still need to develop that experience. And even though they're the big invite hotshots so far, I just don't see them pulling it off in terms of taking the fights and winning those.
And Flair, in terms of like playstyle, from what I understand, the newer teams to invite can kind of struggle against some aggressive playstyles. Do you think? I mean, from some of the players I know on this Fred 5 team, I would say they probably have that. Is that true? Are they going to be kind of trying to walk over Amicitia? Is that something they could play around?
I think I might have misunderstood the question a bit if you
Is
kind
Fred
of phrase it a
aggressive?
little different. Is Fred aggressive? I mean, there's no two ways about that. You've got Pablo on scout, probably the best scout playing right now in the game. You've got Rain on demo, who just walks forward consistently. Chubbs, Carson, everyone just loves to walk forward. And it might even be a little bit of a detriment to them because I think they're going to be coming in with a bit of easy expectations in the game for them. So they might overextend and overcommit for a lot of stuff, trying to play a bit of the funnies going in. But yeah, without a doubt, Fred 5's highly aggressive, and you're going to see them try to take advantage of that as much as possible.
We sure do love the funnies here in Highlander. Now, Zagron, looking at the roster here, I know the initial soldier. I'm not sure who the soldier was for Amicitia heading into this week. If you do, who was the normal soldier for that roster?
I'd have to look it up. It's been a while since they've been on cast.
Well, regardless, right now it's Dongus, and I was going to ask. I know Dongus personally from playing against him and having been in the Highlander scene for a while. I know he's an exceptionally gifted soldier. Do you think that that matchup on the flank might make a big difference in this matchup?
Uh, Even if Dongus comes in with the same, glory he had on that DK roster, that the same expectations he had from back then, the flank of Paulo and Dur has been really strong this season, and Poseidon Dongus just doesn't stack up as far as the recent results go. So, if we didn't say the maps earlier, but the maps will be Lakeside Upward Product, so two Koth maps, very DM heavy, very flank can get very aggressive and make plays. Pablo and Dur have that synergy. They have that DM to walk forward and take control. So I think the flank battle is actually in favor of Fred 5.
Does Dongus still kind of maintain the really aggressive bomb kind of play style? I mean, I remember he had like the half bomb. The normal way I normally describe that bomb is not going to be okay to say on cast, but he kind of had like the half bomb and he commit when his team is ready. I think that could help them a lot on product if they manage to get there. Do you think that could be a difference maker?
It's a thing we could expect, a play we could see come in. It's going to be about whether or not he can sync this up with the team because, like
Of
we said,
course.
he is a ringer coming in. So if he's able to make that work out like he used to, then it will be an advantage for his team to go in with. But otherwise, it might be a bit rough sailing for Amicitia if they have to go against that flank.
And I know before we went live, I was asking a bit about the rosters just because I wanted to be up to date. I know some of these players, but Amicitia is mostly new to me. It's names I recognize, but maybe not on some of these roles. And I asked specifically about the sniper matchup. Looking at these maps, I mean, we got Lakeside, Upward, Product. That's some serious sniper heavy maps. At least some of them are. I know I recognize Lenny's name, and I asked about Say because that's not really a name I've seen in the past. Flair, what do you think is going to happen in this sniper matchup? I know Lenny's a name that's been around, but Say's kind of an up and comer.
Lenny's a total hotshot as well. He was a bit of an up and comer even in the past few seasons, but Lenny's a bit more established now. But Say, you're gonna have to watch how the team plays around him because I can tell you from experience, Amicitia loves banking on their sniper plays. So I'll just pass it over to you now as the mid-fight takes place.
I was about to say, we'll find out as we get into the game here. Demonstrating on the point. Look at this aggression on the side right now from Fred 5. Chubb's going very deep, trading with Rayman, but he's might go down to the flank from Dur playing on the bats. Point control might be traded back and forth as Johnny gets a pick onto Rain, running through, but Amicitia, even with the flank, they're surrounded, but they control the point. I don't know how long it's going to be for, Zach.
Yeah, they did do a really good job cutting the initial aggression. We see Dur took a long time to kill DZ Creeper, and Shotway did get found on his decloak, so they did keep a decent player advantage, but the aggression of Fred 5, they just walked on point, took space when they had room for it as well, and Amicitia just couldn't group together and focus on targets, so they do lose that initial mid-fight, Fred 5 with the first cap of the match.
Great actually play at the end there by Dur, I think, pulling some people back, letting his team get the cap, and beside now, just toe tapping point, but not enough to make anything happen yet. His team still has to respawn. McLealy's also in the back. I think he got found out by Pablo, but he's going to disengage as the stalemate happens. But it looks like Amicitia might want to get aggressive. Dongus on dance floor behind them, but they pick off Dog, and I think that's going to completely cut off the aggression from Amicitia.
Yeah, they're trying to get this Uber from Toy Force. They do have that advantage. They had 100% because of that death by DZ Creeper at the end. Now it's up to 50, but they still haven't had to use it yet. Amicitia, but just getting on point now, and the Uber will come out from the side of Fred 5 trying to kite them back.
Johnny delaying as much as he can, but Pablo very, very aggressive. Looks like no picks really coming at it all from that. Uber going to be up very soon for Nova as they get aggressive up top. Dog actually really wants to find something here, and it looks like Rayman follows up and gets Chubbs. Even with that trade onto Syria, looks like they're going to recap the point with Uber advantage too, so we're looking at a sack wave here, honestly, from that side once they get some people back up. But Lenny catching Dongus on the way out. That's going to make this sack wave or potentially even a slow push possible for Fred 5.
Yeah, the problem is Dur is behind lines already, and he's hurt, and they know he's there, so it's not going to be a surprise coming out. They have position around Amicitia Nova in that bathhouse. They do have that Uber ready at knife point. It's getting capped up by Fred 5 really quickly, so they're going to have to pop out, and here it comes. Yeah,
they're going in right now with it, but looks like they're able to kite away. Only Rain going down, and they managed to maintain the cap even with about 75 in Fred 5's hands. Chubb's in the spot on the side of the map getting sniped, so managing to maintain control, but Dur might actually sneak this cap. No, Rayman almost found it, but Lenny coming in from the side finds that Say, manages to get the trade, so sniper control maintained on Nova's side as Pablo goes for this duel with Poseidon. Poseidon's gonna run away. He wants his team to help. Highlander is a team game, folks, but it might not matter. Actually has to disengage in the end, but it looks like they might be walking back in for another refight on Fred's side.
Yep, they do have that Uber now as Toy kited back. Spy gonna drop down, tries to get the force off, but Michael Lele can't find it. So Fred 5 gonna walk forward here, try to force Amicitia off the point. They did just get the time lead, but the point should go over back to the side of SB. The Uber is out, and it's 80% for DZ Creeper, and he gets dropped.
It's unfortunate, couldn't disengage in time. Very solid Uber by them. Dogus actually barely makes it out there, bearing the name Budget Wi-Fi Soldier, so maybe we can see some laggy bombs from him coming in as this game goes on, but Fred 5 regained control of the point off of that aggressive push onto DZ. 20% advantage in their hands, and moving into this bath household, and Zach, why is this bath household so aggressive on Lakeside?
It's so good because if you get your combo set up there, it's really hard to find spam angles in to clear them out. As you see, Lenny took up an aggressive angle, watching into the opponent's main, so that cuts out an entire sideline from the team. And if you go underneath bats, you can just rotate to the middle door like he is now and watch for that. Say does get the snipe onto Dur, but the hold is still going strong. Looks like Amicitia Nova is going to be forced to wait for Uber here so they can walk out.
Flank pressure doesn't really matter quite as much, but shot it. Rotating around, catching Dog, and now they have to disengage just a little bit. Rayman still holding this strong, but you can't really get the cap when the sniper is so protected. And like as I say that, Rayman gets picked off by Lenny, and Amicitia don't really have a leg to stand on with their combo. And maybe their flank can pinch them, but look at this disengage and refight from Fred 5. Such a good rotation, and Dogus got completely baited in Lake House.
Yep, they're popping around into DZ Creeper, getting at 90%. If he dies here, the round is essentially over. He's in the backside for Devilman, bombing over, trying to find the second, hits one pipe, can't hit the second, and the roller does force him though, so Amicitia Nova have to refight this now.
and they're coming back in with it. Dongus actually made it going a little bit early, but it looks like he survived. Trying to live in the back on the health pack. Kill on the side though, Bren. She goes down from shot away. Now maybe another flank here, but Rayman is ready for it. DZ so low. The Spy can't get the kill, whiffing all the revolver shots.
There's gotta get him.
Follow-up. Manages to get it in the back side. Actually goes down as well to Duran. Total control by Fred 5. 30 seconds left. Not enough time to get an Uber, and Toy's at 65%, so things are looking dire, I would say, here for Nova.
Yep, they just aren't able to focus down targets. They keep getting split up, divided, and conquered by the side of Fred 5. Now, like you said, it's pretty much a full Uber advantage coming here. Only 10 seconds left needed. City have to sack onto this point for their lives if they want to have a chance at this first round.
Mickey gets caught on the way in, and now the artist formerly known as Hype Dad Chubbs is holding down the right side of the point. No one can really get across. Lenny finds another pick, so protected on all the angles he wants, and this Uber is going to wipe the floor, and it looks like Fred 5 are going to take the first round of this quarterfinal match.
Yeah, definitely a really good round out from them. That said, Amicitia were in it for a lot of the time, and if their medic doesn't have that drop, the death at 80%, and then the force when they essentially cut out the Uber, then they have a lot more time to work with. So if Amicitia can, track the enemy team a bit better and make sure their medic is safe, then they have a real chance of taking some rounds here.
Simpson trades back and forth. Poseidon fully buffed, but gets sent flying, and Dongus flying in as well, going into the backline, but just a distraction, pulling Pablo back, but it doesn't matter. Dog will not be distracted whatsoever, picking off Rain, and now moving straight through. Seiryu actually goes down in the back. Choi finds him holding on to this upper bridge area. Actually trying to pull them back. Rayman knows that he's there, trying to find something. Lenny, contested on this angle. Ambassador headshots going off for now, but that doesn't really do as much damage as it needs to. Poseidon aggressive on the point, finds
was in. He got
started
DC
so
creeper.
good, he got DC, the heals are gone, and now Fred can just rely on their Uber.
Yeah, so many players dropping. Entire that mid as well. Fred 5 had bathhouse control. Great play by Carson and Dur to really make a ton of space for their team. All that pressure means less people look for the spy, more people have to watch different angles. And again, the aggression pays off for Fred 5, and they take another clean mid. Full Uber advantage to work with.
That's going to be really tough to go in with that if they sack, and it's almost impossible to sack into there. And I know, Flair, you mentioned, was there something you saw specifically on that last half you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I just want to draw attention to the score difference right now. We don't have access to the actual stat lines, but right now Glenny's sitting on 23 points, whereas, say, the enemy sniper is sitting on 8, and I'm noticing a very clear difference in the way Lenny and Say choose to rotate. Say is playing almost entirely on the bat side of his side of the team, sorry, on his side of the map, never rotating over to ruins or playing any kind of flank pressure, but Lenny's rotating hyper aggressively over and over again. You never see where he's going. He just seems to be able to exert so much more map pressure with his style of play.
And that's just sniper game sense in general, right? Always being in the right angle and not getting caught up by the spy. Mikulele very close to Lenny, wants to go for it, but go for Chubbs instead. Super aggressive flank bomb by Dur. Nova tries to retake the point, but it's a heavy Uber, and I know how much of a disaster these can be. Trying to go in with Rayman. Maybe they can get Chubbs, but a great flash by Toy. She saves him, but the solo heavy Uber in the end wins out, but he can't track Pablo. It's all over when he goes down.
He had a chance to make it work, but like you said, not a single bullet connects onto Pablo there. That man from Boston was just too elusive there, and that point will get retained by the side of Fred 5. Now, a minute and a half of the time is ticked off for them. The Ubers are even as well, so no real advantages for AN to work with here, as they're at a severe time disadvantage as well.
Pablo had 2 pills to take, and he took the one that turned him into the one. Sunglasses, leather coat, dodged every single bullet coming in. Nicolele actually in a good position right now, but Toy, she's too far back, I think, for him to go in for it. Gets caught out on the point by Hunter. He cloaking in front of everyone. No way to break line of sight for the cloaking sound. And right now, Amicitia, they're holding on this far left side. Trying to play around Say, I think. Just give him a chance to get in. Or at least find an angle. Very aggressive, actually, on the mid-bridge. Carson goes down. I'm so used to that being heavy. I was about to say that was a huge pick, but always forget that he's swapped roles, trying a little something new now. Look at this bathhouse control. It's solid. Actually, Rain caught out, but Toy, the last second, she manages to save Rain, and this might be a much better Uber coming in from Fed 5 potentially. Bren goes down. No chance. Mini following. Dongus falling as well, and solid Uber, even with Amicitia retaking the point. This is just going to screw up their spawns. Honestly, some picks on the side. Can they get on with the health that they have on Fred 5? Looks like they're waiting, but bathhouse control, because of that early push from Amicitia, it actually put them in a pretty good position, but Dur might be looking to change that.
Yeah, Say's posted on this. Mike, they're going to find Dur on the side, though, so Dur not able to get anything. The sniper is here, but point presence is had by Fred 5. The fist heavy is too hard to knife from the point. They have to get out there, but they're getting picked.
Hunter just walked into bathhouse, and nobody cared. Pablo running a train over the flank right now, too, taking out Say and Poseidon and backing up. 36 seconds right now. if Amacita want to have a chance in this half, they're going to have to figure something out. Uber advantage firmly on the side of Fred 5 as well, so I'm not sure what options they have. Maybe Miguel has to go huge. I think that has to be it. He has to find a pick. Hunter immediately finds him crossing the point, though. No decode to be had, getting chased onto the pack. No chance there. Now the rest of the team have some heavy lifting to do.
Yep, they're going the bathhouse route to point. There's only 10 seconds left, but this Uber from the defense is denying, and no one's even out of bathhouse yet. They're going to funnel into it, and they should just get fully denied out of the round here. Pablo, though, stands on some stickies when that Uber ends, kind of trapped in, and Amacita Nova is going to get flooded out onto the point here. They have a chance, but a quadra backstab from Shotaway completely decimates any chance they had.
Oh god, you have to handle spies under pressure. This is when they're going to be the best. You have to know to turn around. Hunter turns around in time to find Mikelele lurking on the point, picks him off as well, and Dongus is going to try his best, but I think we all know what Hunter was accused of. He's going to deny every single rocket here, and now 2-0, Fred 5, bring us to our first halftime with, I would say, a pretty dominant performance across the board.
Hunter at the end there was on an 11 kill streak. I don't think he died in the second round whatsoever. At some point he got 4 reflect kills in a row. He completely denied the spy. Amazing play out from him, but we're in a third round here,
We're in a third round. We're doing some old school rules, I guess. Not a 2-map halftime right now. Dongus going in pretty deep there on the back. Rayman actually finds 2 walking across the point. So aggressive right now from Amacita with the arrow, and Carson keeps him alive, taking down Rayman. DZ Creeper can't get away, and Hunter just will not go down. I hope it's an actual round.
Yeah, the team's a bit weird here, but if this was an actual round, that's a complete
No, but the point's countable. It has to be.
Yeah, so that's a complete wipe from the side of AN, Fred 5. You know, it took them a second to get revved up in this match, but they have not let up on the gas one bit. Shotaway got 4 kills that mid as well, so that man 8 kills in the past 2 minutes. That's got to be some kind of a pace to set.
Let's see what kind of pace they can keep setting. Shotaway finding Rayman on the side. DZ Creeper actually goes down. Rain found the catch there. No healing coming in from them. Chubbs tries to get aggressive off that. I mean, I guess you get a medic pick. Might as well do it. Pablo running in as well, taking down Dongus. Mika kind of caught out here. Half HP. Can't really find anything on the flank. And Lenny getting the better of Say again. Completely defended on this Lake House side. It's going to be so hard to break. What is the answer to the Lake household? How do you bust through?
They just have to find some advantages that they can take into, whether it's spam, an SBS, a spy pick. But right now, Lenny's firing on all cylinders. Hunter's not letting the spy in. If your pick classes can't do anything on Lakeside, you just have to rely on rotations and spam DM from the front lines. But as we mentioned in the pregame, Amacita Nova are kind of lacking in that compared to Fred 5.
Do you think, I think I know the old answer to this used to be play on the far left side, hard buff your sniper, and let them take the fight with your spam. I feel like we haven't really seen that response from Amacita at all here.
Going left here,
trying to make that move.
Yeah, the bath household isn't exactly out for Fred 5 right now. They're walking across the left side of the point to contest, and the Uber is in. 95 for DZ Creeper, and he gets piped by Rain. Does go down. No Uber for Amacita Nova. No hope in this half yet, and they just get wiped again off the face of Lakeside.
Not a second of cap time so far, and that was a great rotation from Fred 5. I don't think we called enough attention to that. They kited out of bathhouse as soon as they saw the far left hold, and that's what you have to do. You have to rotate. You have to meet them. You can't let them do that for free. Lenny, full tank, tanks a headshot from Say, and that's why teamwork with a sniper is always going to work out. But look at the aggression right now from Amacita, trying to walk across. Is Dog getting some spam, but disconnected from some of his stickies. Juggles Rain in action.
He dogs
double
all the
pipe, gets the kill.
Yeah, Dog, great play there to just win the demo 1v1 on point, and that's going to buy his team space to walk forward and get their first cap of the round. So 2 minutes are off the clock, but they have a chance to keep going, and they will be able to get Uber here as Fred 5 have to regroup. It's a 10% disadvantage they will have, and where they hold is going to be a big thing here. If they can get into Bath, it'd be big, but Dur and Carson are holding it down. Right now, Micah and Poseidon trying to push them up. Poseidon eats a rocket, so Bathhouse remains in the control of Fred 5.
And Dongus actually had a good play there to take down Lenny, which makes this fight a little bit easier for them. Lenny's still on the respawn. Chubbs pushing across on the side, unseen, but Say catches him on the rotation. Dirk coming in from behind, going in for a bomb, but the Uber was used. He doesn't want to commit, just gets onto Say, and now this post fight, if Fred 5 can stay alive, is going to be pretty simple with a sniper dead.
Yeah, so many picks coming in right when they need them for Fred 5. It's just so hard to play this game from Nova. There's always people behind them, always people on the flanks. Right now, they even have 2 people on bats harassing them, and the point, it's not quite capped up. It will get capped up in 1 second for Fred 5, so 50 seconds going to tick down. AN did get 1 minute, but again, they get wiped off the point, so it's going to have to be another regroup, and if they cap one more time, it might be the last time. Fred 5 is going to have Uber to defend this for the 3-0.
Lenny gets the better of Say again and catches Rayman on the way in too. That's going to slow down the push. Honestly, if I'm MSC, I might disengage. Creeper's so scared to cross the sideline. Means he's not building any Uber either, so it might be tough for this to catch up at this point. Finally moves out as Dongas goes down. They had to bomb in just to make a distraction. Poseidon going down too, no flank. They did get Reigns, that's going to make things a little easier, but Lenny gets again. Dog going down too. The Uber got forced though, so if they can get their respawns, they might have a chance to refight this, but Rainman might be too forward to survive for the next fight.
Yeah, gonna get collapsed on by Shot Away and the Mini Sentry and the Soldiers, so gonna get that kill. DZ Creeper chiming in onto Dur as a response, and Dongus gets Pablo, but they can't get to the point in time, and that will be the 3-0. Surely this is halftime, and still as dominant as it was last round.
Oh no, they're gonna play a DM half now that we're here, but no, seriously, great from Fred. I wanna... Yeah, it's gonna be crazy seeing, honestly, the SVS, I think, between the two of them, because that I felt like that was dominantly Eleni's favor. I do think that is partially because of the hold inside of the late counts, keeping them held down there. But when a team is playing like that, Flair, when a team is kind of out rotating you, is there really any answer on Lakeside? It's just so open. It's so hard to get onto the sniper.
Ultimately, when that keeps happening, you just need to pray that you win your DM fights, which, as we discussed at the start of this cast, just doesn't seem like it's going to happen for Amcidia. I will throw out an honorable mention to Dog, an absolute savant on demos, creating so much space for his team. I just think if Amcidia manages to play a bit more around their demo, the space he's creating, and rotate Say around as needed, and maybe put a bit more heals into Poseidon, their scout, too, so they can actually make use of that space, because Dog is absolutely crushing for him, but they don't seem to be able to capitalize on any of the space that he creates, or even put him in the right position to make any of that happen. So, yeah, just, if we're going to see any kind of comeback from Amicidia, they're going to have to learn to try to play around the space instead of butting their heads against a brick wall where they just keep thinking, oh, maybe we'll win the next fight. Maybe we'll win this fight. Maybe when we push them out from Bathhouse, we'll do this. But again, it's not happening. You need to play smart, not aggressive.
Well, if I had anything to say, I would say probably maybe they should kill Hunter or Toy, because zero deaths on Toy, 1 death on Hunter, and he wasn't playing far back. He was being aggressive. We saw him walk into Bathhouse in the back. 20-1. Zach, what do you attribute that kind of play to?
He's firing on all cylinders now. Every part of Pyro that you could hope for your Pyro player to have is just going so well for him. He has 20 kills, 1 death, like you said, 8 degreaser kills, 7 flare guns, 4 deflect kills. It's just so much damage coming in from Hunter. A Pyro. You don't normally see Pyros have this much game impact especially on Lakeside, where a lot of your job is just deny bombers, watch for spy. But he's doing a lot to take advantage of the space bought for him by his sniper winning the SVS, and he's just able to walk forward. His DM is super on point right now, and he's playing lights out. Speaking of that sniper matchup, we said we wanted to see the SVS. It was 7-1, so not close in the slightest. Lenny,
not ideal. Definitely less than ideal, I would say, for regardless of what's happening. And honestly, I think it's just so hard for them to get into the back. I think losing the flank matchup too is a pretty big part of it. Pablo 21-9. Do you think, Flair, do you think that when the Pyro on the other team has opened his third eye at the level that Hunter basically did that last game, do you just shift your spy to maybe help your flank out, especially when you're kind of getting outclassed on that side so much?
Well, I think, the theoretical correct answer is just shoot the Pyro forehead. He can't reflect bullets, but obviously, the classic answer for a spy is instead of going for stabs, you just sit on top of the dance floor, on top of bats, and start peppering the enemy team with bullets. Instead of trying to go in for big plays, you just try to be as much of a nuisance as possible. That way you can bring the Pyro away from their combo, open up space for your demo to come in across point, and not get harassed by a Pyro reflecting his stickies. So then as a spy, that's your ability to open up the space a little bit. Even if you're not actually getting kills, you're able to draw attention away and create some space for your team to capitalize off of.
Yeah, it's definitely really important. I mean, I know how insanely impactful it is just getting chipped from behind by a spy. I remember the days of old Ambassador just getting 102'd from back there with basically no response. But
the good old days.
Those days are long gone.
Now you get -18. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's still annoying. It still ruins crit heals. It's still something that Mikelele could be doing if he's getting just completely caught out, by that pressure. And so hard to think of what else you could have done on that map. But for now, I mean, that map's over. We're moving on to Upward. After a great performance by Fred 5, I would say this is still a more team-oriented map, but it's still sniper dominant, I would say. Zag, even with the sniper matchup the way it is, even with this map being so team centric, do you think that MSC to have a better chance on a payload map?
I'd say they do have a better chance on a payload map comparison to the Koth maps, just because a lot of the mistakes that happen to them on the Koth map, you probably won't have to be seeing. The pyro isn't going to be able to walk forward on you and get 11 kills. The sniper isn't going to win 7-1. There's going to be different angles you can take, different ways you can play that. You can take your sniper different places to try to get advantages, but for Amaciti and Nova, I feel like a lot of their strengths did come with the teamwork and rotations they were able to do. Granted, on Lakeside, we did see a lot of good responses from Fred 5 to kind of negate that, but if it's a difference between Upward and Lakeside, I'd probably take Upward if you're Amaciti and Nova.
I'm mostly excited. I just want to see one of these snipers use the Sizz spot. That's what I want to see. I feel like no one tries to go there, but I think it's really good at mixing things up. Maybe get them an early kill that'll give them a small advantage here. And I want to talk about something that's kind of evolved since I think my time playing this game more seriously, I guess. And I can pose this to Flair. What's changed on first that made it such a dominant hold? Because way back, this was kind of the giveaway. Like, we lost one person. Oh my good lord, get out, please. What's shifted on first over the years that has made it a much better point to hold?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer that question because I'm kind of a fresh face in the higher league, so I don't know the history of the holds. Granted, I think it might just be the fact that players are so much better now at playing their
That's
angles,
true.
playing their sightlines, playing their choke points. It's just once you come up with that experience, that kind of finesse, being able to work with the little things, you're just much better at holding the exact same angles. Because I don't think there's actually been any change in the positions of players, where they rotate to and where they play. I just think they're doing it so much better now.
Well, the one thing I know for sure is that NG's definitely stopped doing throw sentries, because I remember people used to talk about the Dave Plus spot, which is up top on the above the door that leads to cliff on top of that wall.
We've actually seen that somewhat recently, and
No way.
yeah, I remember it was AD. I think they tried with Exa. He put a teleporter up there and tried to get a sniper up there for the early SVS
Oh, okay.
cheese angle.
Sniper is different. Dave used to put the gun up there, wrangled. That was definitely. I mean, it's impossible to sab, but it's also impossible to heal, because that was even before the days of the Rescue Ranger. So
We're going way
I
back
think,
here
yeah,
before
we're
the
going
Rescue
way.
Ranger.
Yeah, before the well, this is like, I'm talking season 9, like TS, when we're talking about that spot. But I'm using that as an example for. I mean, Flair's right. Players have improved over time. I think snipers getting better as well is a big part of why this point has changed so much too. Right? You think about, you could get close to the point earlier, but now some of these snipers are just rolling off headshots from that platform, and I think Lenny doing that is going to be very hard for MSC to overcome.
Yeah, that might
I,
also be another one of the reasons, is because a lot of the times your entry into pushing this first point, forcing the team out for free, is that sniper pick, whether it's through a spy jumping on the rock to playground, getting an easy backstab, or your sniper winning the SVS. But it's so hard to do that now because everyone knows all the spots the spy is going to be trying to look for. He gets spy shots all the time. The sniper will definitely hit his shot on someone peeking him from the middle door if he's standing buffed on playground. It's just so much harder to open up that spot. And if you're getting railed from every angle coming in, first comes a lot more viable, and we've seen that evolve. Yeah, like you said.
And I know there's been even some like recent evolutions in the sacks that players do. What are the kind of Flair? What are the kind of like unique sack plays that we might expect to see on this first point while that card gets moving initially?
I mean, everyone on cast, I believe, and in the chat probably knows about the bowl Mayo sack. You run that base jumper, you fly around the right side, you just land on top of that gun, you just try to pepper those sentries and pepper anyone holding there with stickies. You're going to see a lot of soldiers bombing straight out of the right spawn on blue team 2. They get a wall jump off the right spawn, pogo off the staircase, and then right into the medic and try to force that medic. Some demos also try to high bomb and get directly in that medic's face, maybe from playground, maybe try to replicate that soldier's arc through a little different thing. But, also honorable mention to the man witch. You get, it's
I
kind
was
of a
gonna
dumb
say
play.
the
That's where I
man.
was
I
gonna
was
ask
gonna
about.
say the man witch.
That was kind
I
of what
mean-
I was leading into the whole time, honestly.
But yeah, the man witch, I mean, it doesn't work, but it's just glorious to see this fat, heavy, just waddle his way around tracks, hoping he gets the punches. And every once in a while it works, and you have to clip it every time it does, because it's not even that heavy made a great play. It's just, wow, you guys let that happen. How?
Yeah, walk-in punch. I remember the days when every heavy was trying to punch camera. I'll never forget the time I saw an eerie person do it, and I think he actually got a drop with it on a medic who like ate a pipe at the same time or something. But like was it with the heavy walking in the main? Pyro can do that too. We see Pyros go for that play a lot as well. Walk up through tracks, just hold left mouse on someone. It'll force the Uber a lot especially if there's spies going for a sap at the same time. The pyro's gonna be like, wow, there's a spy here. Better turn around and air blast him. But then the enemy pyro walks in from the front. And if your heavy's on playground denying the bomb, then the pyro gets in for free. The sack meta on upward first has evolved in the way where you're basically trying to overload the angles with as many people as you can. You have your demo going far right with the base jumper. You have your soldier going up over playground. You have your spy in from behind. You have people do tracks. And if you overload all the angles, that's when you find the forces frequently.
I mean, that's kind of the benefit of Highlander, right? You just have so many players, might as well. You have so many things you can just kind of throw at them and see what sticks. And I think the Man-Witch, I've actually never heard it called that before. But again, I'm a TF2 boomer, I guess, not really capable of these
that's
new
what
names
these
for sure.
fresh kids are calling it nowadays.
These kids with their
Look, he
jewels
put
and their
anti-Man-Witch
monster
stickies.
energy. Wait, we're in main? That's
Yeah.
smart. And it makes sense, though, because that's really like the angle. That's the angle that you're going to get pressured through.
Yeah,
You have the heavies playing on the left wall on the ammo pack. Your pyro's going to be looking for the spy. It really is the biggest opening to get through the anti-bomb characters.
I cannot believe he put a sticky on the front corner to deny pyro and heavy sacks through tracks. That's the evolution of the evolution. We're seeing the meta evolve before our eyes.
He's thinking 8 steps ahead for sure. He's playing 4D chess and everyone else is playing checkers, but we'll have to see if it works once we get into it. And I think it's smart, especially after how that last game went. You know, you think that a team might be more desperate as we get in, but looking at this, the setup is all there. It looks relatively standard, I would say, for Fred 5. They have Lenny standing on the little angle there up top, peeking through, and Troy forward very, very fast bomb by Dog. Looks like he got stuck on the wall, though, knocked back by the Wrangler and not able to find anything else. Oh my god, the bomb came in, actually follow up. They caught Chubbs, but everybody else on Fred 5 were able to clean up the sack. Toy staying relatively healthy that whole time, staying down in the pit near that full ammo, and they can now reset. I mean, honestly, you have time for another sack if they want to do it, but the card's getting this close. Do you think that's what they want to be doing?
Normally teams aren't that shy of going for a second attack, especially because if your spy gets the teleporter on the first one, then it buys you a lot of space on the way back, and Lenny did just snipe out 2, including the enemy sniper, so they will have to wait for that respawn anyway. So preparing another sack with your spy might be a viable play. That said, Michael gonna get caught and spawned by Chubb, so good idea to spy check that and make sure he doesn't get spawn camped as the spider when it does get the tele. And Lenny, like we said, railing off shots gets the demo man, so you have to wait again for that spawner. Almost you have to be careful about getting caught in spawn loops.
Now Dongus knows that Chubbs was taunting in spawn, so he gets aggressive, but Pablo was waiting. Dongus didn't try to hold that upper area. Rayman, you can't cross when people are alive, brother. You can't make that happen. He gets pushed back super low. Manages to use the fist to get away, but look at this pressure right now. Wants to save. He gets saved by an arrow, but Shotaway is just running rampant all over their backline.
Yeah, and just they don't have any group push yet. They're just sitting here. Their medic just now leaves spawn. They finally have enough players. Micah went down and Say's down as well. So you're down your pick classes. The gun can't get sapped. The sniper's on pressure, and they're gonna pop anyway. It's getting desperate for them to get them this force out.
And it looks like they do get the trade back and forth. Rayman, it's a heavy Uber in front, but they have to flash Johnny. That's going to make the Uber just a little bit worse. Soldier trade in the bottom. Durr misses the air shot.
Lenny's on 7.
It's going to go back and forth, and Lenny just walks in, gets the medic.
What?
Unstoppable.
Stop shooting
Finds
people.
Johnny as well. He is just unbeatable right now. If he hit Poseidon there, I would have freaked out, but he managed to get away. Mikulele trying to make something happen, but look at how close they all are. What do you do as a spy?
Hard to
He just has to leave, and he's been spotted out.
Yeah, it's so hard to get this sniper on first. If he's hitting all his shots, right, he's protected from all angles. He's buffed all the time. You need to find a way to kill this man, especially if he's hitting every shot.
I think you just need to put your mobile classes on the playground, pressure a little bit more. Dongus finally doing it, but now they're doing it while Chubbs is up. Save, very aggressive, standing right on the other side of it, but also gets forced down, and both these teams in a complete stalemate. Shotaway might be looking to break that, but they're going to disengage, even though Johnny goes down in the cart. Dog in front doesn't know that Chubbs is solo around the corner, but now they're going to stack the cart. This might be a cap, but it looks like Fred 5 might agree. They're looking to back up, Uber used, and they're going to disengage for a second hold.
Yep, Say got 2 on the way out. Good entries to get his team in there. Gets a third as well to Chubbs, who was just left over on that playground. So they finally get enough kills to make their way up first, capping it. 2.5 minutes is very good for Fred 5. That defense was impeccable so far, and Lenny gets his 9th in a row with another snipe on to Say. So AN looking to load cart now. They have a lot of people in tunnel escorting it up, but right now they're actually getting players onto cliff from that area. Fred 5 have a forward hold on this rock sniper up there as well. DH bomb onto him, gets popped from there, and the 10th kill with SMG. Uber in though from the side to try to get something.
We'll see what they can do, but the gun is fully healed and wrangled. Dog finally making it all the way in, but he's in front of the entire team with no Uber. Pablo right next to him using the funny toys, gets the kill. Carson actually took it from him. Rayman goes down too, trying to follow up. And actually, there's a teleporter behind them, by the way, still. I don't think they know but that's something that they can actually utilize as this goes forward if they don't turn around. DZ actually finally got spotted. And I think this is a mistake with Say running the Razorback. If you're losing the SVS this hard, you need buffs. You need something. Running this Razorback is just going to make it even harder. Yes, he won't be able to go down to the backstabs, but I really don't think that's the problem. Amasita, though, taking a lot of ground here. Moving up right now. Everyone's stacked up really forward, but this might be an insane Uber if they get it, but it doesn't matter if Lenny's just going to get all the picks for them.
Oh no, Hunter. He's off the edge. They do force that Uber out though, and if DZ Creeper can kite this out and retain his 90%, he gets very low but gets the pack, so that's a win in essence. Mike can get Toy on the way out as well. Big pick for them, so now with a full medic advantage, they're going to try to walk forward and finally get this point. Importantly though, Lenny is backed out. He is still waiting, gets body shot once by Say, and he does back out, so that is a second point. It should be taken by AN. It's very late in the round compared to normal, but it's something.
They could potentially refight and try to just force the Uber, but it looks like they have really dominant positioning. Gotta say though, shout out to Dur. He actually delayed the cart and then killed Dog on the way, so giving his team a chance to have that refight if they want it, but they choose not to take it right now. Dur locking down that upper area. Everybody's stacked up pretty tight here. Dog coming back from spawn, and actually Nikolele's in a good position. They know they check it though. Toy's not going to put his back to that, and Dog is... his rocket went through the Kraken roller coaster. He falls to his death.
No.
Lenny gets the kill too, adding to his already massive total so far, and right now... Obviously, that's going to slow down their push a little bit, but Dog's in a pretty decent position to spam up with that heavy bend, and now spam in main as well.
Yep, Lenny is 14-1 right now, or 14-0. He hasn't died, so this man is just standing tall on this defense. 4.5 minutes for AN up to this point. They're going to try to get the cart up the first bend before any Uber exchange happens. Toy just gets it up as Micah gets a pick onto Dur, so no soldier means you can walk up, and they're going to try to walk up through Bucket right now to force the Uber. They pop first.
Chubbs is so passive, though. Dongus forced him back. Uber finally used on the Pyro, and actually every kill's going to Fred 5. Uber's starting to end. Hunter's getting hovered, but still no damage as Shadowway comes back in. Pablo managing to find 2 on the backside of that too, and potentially just get away under. They don't know he's there. He even took the pack. He can push him off the cart, and maybe technically gets forced, which means the cart has to roll all the way back down, but her mini sentry catches out Pablo, and now resettling. The cart didn't manage to make it up either of the declines. They're going to try to make it happen now, but Sticky's all over the cart. It's going to slow them down just a little bit. I want Chubbs to be a little bit more aggressive in this bend, man. I feel like having that pressure in main is going to make things a lot harder for Amasita if they want to take it.
Yeah, he's playing kind of a bait angle, trying to let his team take aggro and then pops up for some kills. Whether or not he's just purely baiting or that's part of the strategy, we don't really know. Either way, he's going to get walked up on, and it does get a kill onto Rayman with the help of Dur, so it's working so far. So he's going to get the snipe onto Rain. Cart is up that second bend as well, so great pressure by AN to get that ground, but a lot of players down. Lenny dies for the first time all around, and if that gun goes down, this should be third for AN.
Soldier and Demo both getting revenge on Lenny when he gets picked, finally with this aggression here, making a ton of work, and they have Uber on the side of both teams, actually, but now they're going to use a Toy disengage. They want to have this upper hold in 6.5 minutes. That's, with how this round started, that's not the worst. That's only about 2 minutes per point. An extra 30 seconds on the first, and actually, Chubbs is looking, but they're coming in. Uber used, they drop Hunter. That means they can get in basically uncontested, but they bring 2 people in. Lenny gets the person unflashed. You don't need to do that. You had the better Uber. But now it's going to be on the defensive side as 2 more people go down. And Amasita, they have to disengage into lower, and now they have to play off of the sniper angle because they just completely whiffed that Uber.
Yeah, when you get a fast Uber like that, you need to just make sure that you take some ground whatsoever. But the cart wasn't up yet. They didn't really have a room to work with. They dropped Dog, excellent snipe by Lenny, but either way, they kind of just wasted that Uber, and now the cart's trapped out here. They're going to try to drive pressure backstairs.
We'll see if that does manage to work out right now. They're holding on Spiral pretty effectively. Dog actually getting picked by Pablo in under 2. Rayman does get the trade, but spawns are pretty close for the defending team, even with that spawn time disadvantage. Got a fairly good wave, I think, at his side. 12 seconds remaining on that. Siding gets pretty forward, and actually Rain gets picked. No one's spy checking. Basically, the only spy corner up top. Say going down is going to make this a little bit harder, but it looks like they managed to get in pretty far up top. They're so low, the Uber gets forced out. Are they just going to disengage? That'd be smart, but no, they want to trade the Ubers. I don't know if this is worth it into the banner, but they stop running. She can't cap the cart anymore. Johnny potentially following up top. Chubbs is so distracted. This is a perfect collapse right now for Amasita. Chasing out Toy. Getting hit by the sniper, but Toy might be able to back away. 10% Uber, staying alive is going to be a huge deal, especially with Pablo finding Creeper on the backside.
Yep, and this gun is still up, so it's so hard for AN to chase these kills down. All their players who were alive at the end got out safely, including Toy, who now is going to have a 30% Uber, as, like you said, Pablo did get that kill onto Creeper. So if SB has a chance to reset here, and Lenny keeps railing off shots on a 6K again this life, so all the advantages in the favor SB now to continue this defense.
Almost on outscoring his medic, by the way, so far.
That's disgusting.
Bit of aggression in main by Chubbs, but slowing down because no one's really there. Doesn't want to find anybody. Actually, Lenny goes into lower to support Chubbs down there and gets backstabbed, but Chubbs manages to pick up 2. Dongus has to back up for now, and only 10% Uber right now for DZ Creeper on the side of Amicitia Nova. The team's doing the main hold right now, but actually Dog trying to abuse this, but he gets knocked back, and Rayman might get traded as well, Zach.
Yeah, right now they're trying to drive pressure through main. SB Toy does have that Uber advantage right now, only 40 on the side of DZ Creepers, so they're going to have to either wait for this charge or drive push in to try to get that force. Right now they're all just grouping outside main. Say still on this Razorback, can't get buffed. Lenny is demolished him in this SVS. Carson and Dur doing so much work to deny this tiles area from any flank pushes, but Uber does get forced in from that walk-in.
Dog just listen, if Dog can just walk in, why aren't they going to take upper if that angle in main is so free? Shotaway getting destroyed by Dog in main, and Say finally getting the better of Lenny coming from upper. He goes down, but this could be an upper take. They're going to do it, but DC almost leading. Dur in a solid position, though. Dongus finally rotates in to take it. Raymond blocking one angle, Dongus blocks the other, and it looks like Amicitia might be able to take up top, but they took quite a while. They need to get Say up here, but going down early is going to make it a little bit harder. Finally rotating up, but he's on an angle kind of on his own, but he doesn't know. That distraction pulled him away. Lenny goes down again to Say, getting his feet under him finally in this matchup, and they give up top, abandoning Say, and he goes down to a jump from Dur.
Yeah, so they just aren't able to maintain their pressure. They're getting ground, but they can't focus down targets. They had a level 2 gun in main, but it got no support. Spy and Soldier took it out. Right now they have picks, they have players in, and Hunter gonna force that Uber, gets blasted around it entirely. So now Uber is on cart for the side of AN, but it's only 2 people. Level 1 gun in main, not gonna do much, gonna go down, and they still don't really have any ground to work with.
I just feel like Amicitia, they're getting picks, they're taking ground, but they're not abusing it the right way. They literally had people uncontested and up top, and they just didn't use it the way they needed to. Rain trying to trade over Poseidon. Poseidon actually kills Rain in main. Might open things up a little bit for them. Only Dur holding upper. It would be fantastic for them to push, but I think they're afraid to cut across lower because of Chubbs' positioning. They could just walk main, but looks like they're going to go spiral instead. Chubbs finally goes down though, so maybe under was the play. Perenni actually pushing main with the Rescue Ranger to try to support Mika's push there, but does go down to Hunter. But finally, they take upper. They're protecting Say. This is what we needed to see for quite a while. Double spam on the gun takes it down. Even with Lenny holding this angle, there's not much they can do. Rayman's about to drop from upper, but I think either the server's stuttering or we have a pause here. I really hope he's not dropping. Looks like he is. As we're unpaused, back onto the card. Dog does go down, but Johnny is there to help now with Dur flanking. DC drops as well, actually, and Lenny's alive and up top still, so this has to go. Uber doesn't get used to save Rayman. Goes under Poseidon. He's chasing down Chubbs. Chubbs is so low, but he gets sorted down by the 3 Rune Blade, and Carson trying to buy some time on the cart. Mini Sentry, such a good swap by him. Poseidon has to disengage. Rain actually has upper, and Creeper and Poseidon could take this. They could kill Rain if they know what's going on, but it looks like they're going to play it safe, regroup.
You got
back
Soldier
with the main
support.
caller, and we'll see if they can cross there up top.
Oh, they're
Both
desperate
flankers
sacking
up
the
top.
card. They don't think they have a chance to push this normally. They're all going to funnel through main to try to get what they can, but it's not going to work out at all. They're going to get mulched by the stickies, by the scout, by the sentry. Friends, mini, or level 1, does get a couple frags on that side, but Chubbs is down here denying. Gets air blasted once, but doesn't fall into the pit yet. Lenny going to get a snipe on the dog, but gets responded to by Say, so sniper advantage is in. The spawns are faster for the offense, remember, with that teleporter, so they're going to keep trying to funnel in here.
Say is really just crouch peeking in main right now, trying to find an angle that maybe no one's expecting. Pablo doesn't know, has to go stop the cart. Hunter tries to make it in the last second, but it just rolls in, no way to stop it. And I need to reload my HUD because I'm not sure what time Amicitia have, but it could have been a lot better. I think we can say that for sure.
It was like 12 minutes and 8 seconds, so that's definitely not good, to say the least. You have to put up a stalwart defense to match that on your side, and from what we've seen, they haven't had the coordination to really do it well already. If Fred 5 is just going to walk forward and win those fights over and over, then this half might be over before we know it.
Yeah, possibly. And I actually have to ask, just because it's been a little bit of time since I've spectated, is that same bug still in where you can't see? Like, you have to wait for the length of the pause to see the updated HUD if you don't have the casting essentials?
It's still in there.
Oh no! That is unfortunate, but I will make do as well as I can with my incredibly broken HUD. But
I'm implying they've ever bug fixed TF2 in a way that helped the esports.
Hey, listen, man. Half-Life Alex.
That is true.
It's coming out. It's going to be pretty sweet, I'm sure. And standard defense here currently. DZ kind of in the open. I want to see where he decides to kite to, because definitely risky standing there, especially with these early sacks potentially coming in. A couple spots he could be, but the dispenser's in the spot. Dispenser's in the spot for the heavy. It's not in the spot for the medic to survive. So DZ in a little fast and loose here, just kind of running out. No sacks coming in quite yet for them. Lenny holding and watching main for now as Dog tries to contest.
In the next 10 seconds, I really like this because they waited for Shotway to be in position. So he'll be ready very shortly to get the sap going, and then it can work out a lot better and a lot smoother. We didn't see AN sink their first sack with their spy. They kind of just went without him. So here it comes in. Shotway does get the sap onto the gun, and the Uber gets popped with it. That's surprising. They're going to take it out right away and get kited back.
I think this is smart because they're going to play off their sniper advantage, right? Dur actually flanks on the side, takes down Say and Brandon. Those two going down is going to make things so much easier for them, especially with the spy being dead as well. Johnny overextends to get them out. They have to cross the sniper sidelines, but Lenny is there and he is ready to take you down. A shot rings out, takes down DZ Creeper. And now with no medic, Dongus wants to make a difference here, but he craters on his way down. There's no way he can do it. Rain already shoving across upper, taking so much of this dominant position. Dog has been fantastic so far. He's going to have to hit a 6-shot for this to happen, but Lenny hits a sicker one, taking him down. Bleeding out from Poseidon, but he has his team peeling for him. Not able to make it there in time. Poseidon's going to run and be able to contest lower for a little bit, but only seconds will be bought. Seems like that's not going to be enough to make the difference here with an incredible start to this fight from Fred.
Poseidon trying a flank, not working out. And I want to digress for a second. That's such an interesting first push. Like we said earlier, the sacks work when you overload the box and just overload the angles. Why not do that even further? Add the Uber onto it. Why not? Get as aggressive as you possibly can. And it works out so well for SB. They're able to take that positioning, snowball through second here. They're just cleaning up on all the spawners left over, as Ann hasn't had a chance to regroup yet.
Well, it's a really good thing you kept talking because I disconnected from the mumble, but now I'm back and didn't hear a word you said. I'm very sorry, Zach.
It was very interesting. You should listen to it later.
I'm sure it was fantastic. I can rewatch the VOD, but Lenny right now on the low ground getting pressured by Mikulele. Poseidon finds 2, could find 3 if they manage to catch shot away, but caught out by Pablo on the escape.
Someone in the skybox just thought it was Chubbs.
Chubbs went soaring off the side of the map, but they did trade it out for Rayman, so they might have a decent aggressive position here. Which moving the cart though pretty quickly. Rayman not in position up there to stop them, and Say pushing through Bend without a buff because of that Razorback, and Dur takes him down. That's a huge loss on this point. Having a sniper is so key because look, Rain's just walking in for free. DZ kind of low behind that cart, behind that sentry gun, excuse me. Moving back, Haran taken down by Lenny, and Lenny complete control here, but Poseidon coming up, but perfect defense by Carson to keep Lenny alive.
I just want to point out that third's about to get capped in 10 seconds. We have 9 minutes left for the side of SB to take this in and push that card and win the round. So it's been a flawless round, really. It's been so good. Have they even popped Uber since second? Looks like they're going to get aggressive now and do just that into tiles. Going to force that out with a pipe from the side of Rain. So they do force that defensive Uber out. They'll be able to work off that. And Ann are trying to walk into Spiral. Say getting one headshot to Lenny and taunting for it. So must have been good. But you know, that over aggressive play does have them lose a few players. Card got capped. Doesn't matter too much. Having some fun.
Yeah, for sure, and this is a fantastic offense by Fred 5, and I know I asked you guys the question earlier. Oh, will the aggression from Fred 5 be a problem for Amasitia? Is there a way around it?
Possibly.
I think this kind of proves that point, what you guys were saying, that absolutely yes, they just do not want to let up. Chubbs, a little too aggressive. Arrow Tank, you can only do so much. Pablo, though, running in up top, 2 shots, DZ, gets out through the window, no one can chase him. Gonna hide in Harry Potter, but Johnny does lock him down, but the Say going down. Some good pressure from the Spy. Razorback not helping too much there. Rain tries to get aggressive, doesn't even get any damage onto him. They do catch Toy for it, but everybody up top got bled out, taken down, and this might be free for Fred 5 to take after that.
Yep, they have a lot of players right now falling in through main, gonna take down the mini sentry. No time to build it up to level 3 for Peren. They do have a Delman in tiles right now, able to spam on cart with the soldier, but Pablo running in from the side does get killed and traded out on the side with Logan, so that's Lizar in. Heavy gonna get shot off that cart, and Say getting a couple of his own, so he's gonna help his team stabilize a bit here. But the Ubers are even as well coming back up. Still 8 minutes to work with for SB.
Hype Dad actually got a ton of room there, by the way. He Fist of Steeled on the cart and got it all the way super close, and now Shotaways, he could just decloak on the cart the rest of the game, and it could be fine.
Yeah, it worked. If you got
this is Swiftwater levels of close.
One footstep every time for 8 minutes it'd go in. So they definitely have a lot of options to work with. Ann did manage to get people back into tiles, and like I said, the Uber is even, so they will at least have another defensive hold to try to get going. Logan get 2 kills in the bottom, and does get Toy. Did he jump through the elevator? something.
He came through Spiral, the one thing you have to look for. You have your heavy sit back and pay attention, but Logan just runs all over them. I think Chubbs got picked earlier and they didn't adapt to them losing their heavy. Logan, Lizard, completely free on that flank. I like this right now by Carson though. Level 2 up in main, gonna make it, level 3 actually, gonna make it way harder to contest. Wrangled gun crouching behind it, can't be counter-sniped, gonna apply some more fire and say, a little bit too distracted trying to find an angle in, gets taken down by Lenny. Chubbs running it down in main again, gets taken down from above as Pablo controls this lower area, baits Rayman down into a shot from Lenny, and this is just complete control, I'd say, in main from Fred 5.
Yep, and Carson has a level 3 sentry up watching that drop down, so AN are boxed into house here. If they take one fight, it has to be a good one, and that Uber will get popped in through the back stairs trying to get that aggression, but it's just a Pyro Uber. They don't want to get lost and taken low. Now their Pyro's going to get dropped to the heavy, does actually win that 1v1, so a bit of stabilization coming from AN, but the cart is through. And like we said, that gun is watching,
Crits.
They can't drop down.
It's crits from up top, and it actually didn't really end up doing too much. Johnny flanks, but they're just moving the cart behind. The side barely makes it at the last moment. Rayman doesn't realize where Dur is, but does find him in the end, and now they can just farm in. There's no way the heavy has enough damage. Logan tries to do his best, but Rayman is burning out. Deciding with the last-ditch effort, but the level 3 in main. I said it was a good idea, and you can see why. Fred 5 get the conversion, and assuming this is a best of 3, they're up 1-0 on Upward.
We do see Chubbs calling the GG in chat. I'm not exactly sure if this is another half. I think it should be a best of 3 though, so we should have another half going in. But it's just so dominant, like you were saying. It's so hard for AN to look at this and think, all right, back in the huddle team, what are we doing next half to win? It's so hard to think about that at this point because they're just getting dominated on all sides.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say though, honestly, they had a breath of life there near the end, near that defense. I mean, I think that defense is very strong and might make some teams look a little bit better because of how strong that defense is. But I thought I saw. What did you see, Flair? What did you see that you think MST2 was doing right on that last defense until the conversion happened?
Well, they had a very good split between focusing on the cart and being able to retake uppers. So you'd see Dog, when the rest of the team was fighting on main and trying to deny the cap, Dog was very smart about coming back into upper and trying to deny and put damage onto that cart. So even though Chubbs earlier was managed to get a ton of cap time on it, there was Dog just sitting there not effortlessly, I'm losing the word right now, but he's, diligently, that's the term I'm looking for, diligently on that cart, getting stuff done. And then moments where everyone everyone on the team, I'm losing my words tonight. Everyone on the team came back together, played like a team, and you saw all of the combo members from Amicitia playing upper and playing where they're supposed to. They actually played like a team. They actually got their defense done, and that's just what we need to see more of from Amicitia. Actually, people playing together instead of thinking this is solo Fortress 2.
And the moment where that hold actually collapsed was when they tried to pop Uber through back stairs. I think they got forced by some spam, but then their demo man wasn't with them. It feels like Dog is just kind of isolated from his combo a lot of the times when they are losing, but when Dog is there, putting out all the damage, he's been doing so good this match for what he's been given. That's when MCTR at their best.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the logs up, so we can take a look at how the teams are doing. And two things I think I want to note. I mean, we know Lenny was destroying. We mentioned that a bunch. Almost 600 DPM on the kid. 560 DPM on Pablo, 30 and 14. Poseidon actually did a pretty good job of at least not dying a ton from it, but Logan actually putting up more kills than Dongus in that little bit of time that they had. Just that small amount that he was in the game, that flank through Spiral, 2 more kills than Dongus as the time went on. And Dog and Rain, both pretty high in the damage charts, but I think the heal charts kind of tell the story of, I was asking who the main caller was initially, but you can tell on these heal charts, Rayman almost getting 3,000 more heals than his demo, who died quite a bit. And on the other side, Rain getting a lot more heals, and I think it allows Fred 5 to be a lot more aggressive.
These logs are so interesting, right? Because like you said, Dog's heals are not good, right? He's not getting nearly as much as what he needs. He has 700 DPM. How are you getting 700 DPM when you're not getting top kill as demo man? And to speak to the damage charts, like you said, they're kind of nuts. 5 players have almost or above 600 DPM. It's like a new age of Highlander type thing. You never saw this much damage happen before. Fred 5 gets so aggressive all the time. 4 of the players are from their team with 600 DPM. It's Demoman, Scout, Soldier, Sniper. They just do so much damage. I don't know how else to put it. They do take so many fights and come out ahead of them.
It's not something you used to see a lot, but I think we're going to see it a lot more now as players get better, understand what they can really get away with. And this round, Amicitia, another standard defense. Going to start on it this time for sure, Say. Watching the angle, still on the Razorback, but now he's on the favorite of some snipers, the Sydney Sleeper.
Oh my
Using
God,
that to
he's
watch
doing
this
it.
angle. I mean, it's not bad. I was on a team with Space Ghost, man. He's a fan. He ran it when he could. Shadowway getting caught out by Lizard's positioning up top, and that is either going to make the sack come in immediately or delay it even longer. And looks like
Here's the
immediately
bull
is going
sack.
to be the answer. Bolomeo sack coming in up top, but just getting shot and actually living for a very long time, but did manage to draw some attention, but nothing really able to get followed up with it. And we're in a bit of a stalemate. Do you think they run another sack, or do you think they're going to just try to go in and slow push at this point?
I think they're gonna try to run. It's hard to tell. I think they could run another sack because the shuttle went down without stopping teleports. So the sniper is back up watching if they're scared of that, but they might not be scared of it with how good Lenny's been. It looks like they're just gonna walk forward, try to trade this Uber out. Early pop, and it does get countered on the side of AN.
Toy! He
Oh, he's
surged away
gone.
from the air blast and went straight off the map.
Oh, he's gone.
Off the edge. That's so unfortunate by them. Gonna keep Uber advantage in the hands of DZ Creeper. Rain wants to make a trade happen, but he gets body shot in the air, taken down by the gun. Cart got moved pretty close for now, but still relying on this SVS, which I would say has got to be in the favor of Lenny, considering the Sydney Sleeper on the other side.
SVS stands for Sydney versus Sniper, by the way, at this point. So if he can get anything going for this hold, say, whether it's a Sydney Sleeper or not, it's already helped them stabilize more. Granted, we didn't see SB take the aggressive, pop Uber immediately with the full sack like they did last round, but they do have more aggression coming in. We just see Dirt jumping on Playground, forcing that heavy down. So now they have a lot of ground to work with. They're going to try to walk in.
The timing with Dirt was really good because they waited until the headshot came in on the back. And actually, speaking of on the back, a stab onto DZ Creeper on the defense. Now they won't be able to get up, and that's a terrible time to go down. They disengage, but they're going to need to do a lot if they want to buy enough time for the respawn, especially with such a massive Uber disadvantage right now. Lenny going for the pot shot, but no real value targets to find. Johnny does deny the spam for now, but this could be a potential quick push onto the hill for Fred 5, especially following up on that pick on Say.
Yeah, the Uber dissad is the real story here. It's going to be 100% for the side of SB. Going to walk forward. Like so, that sniper went down, so no one really deny all this space. Rain going to walk forward. Lenny gets that easy shot onto DZ Creeper, hits the taunt while we're at it. So he drops down, takes Raymond out, and not even Uber. They don't even need Uber. They're just taking all the fights and winning. Gun is up to try to defend, but Chubbs is in that window spamming it down as we are going to look to be in another pause in here shortly.
Looks like they're going to take down this gun pretty soon, though. So
Yeah.
I think we can say, unless they
Point's
go
gone.
Super Saiyan, I don't think there's any way that they're going to be able to hold this for now, especially with the Uber disadvantage. I love the discipline on the side of Fred 5, not using the Uber when they knew they had it. DZ getting caught out, trying to kind of half do that hold, but you really can't just commit to this hold. You have to, I think, am I wrong, Zag, in thinking that you have to have a pick or two before you go to retake this hill?
You need to have a pick, or you need to have some kind of a plan. Maybe a gun on the hill that got taken out. Maybe your medic kept Uber, anything to work with. But they didn't have anything. They just kind of trickled in, lost all those fights in a row, and wasn't able to get anything done. Say no scope shot away with the Sneeze Sleeper taunted, and then just got walked up on. So clearly, have 4 fun gamer at the moment. It is going to be the unpause. We're right in. Seconds getting capped. Devilman stuck behind, and they will get the Uber forced on them, but they're going in even further. Air blast to the sky, gonna get pushed back. Everyone's popping up like it's a bounce house, and they will get picks in the end. Hunter, double flare gun kills, one onto Johnny.
It's smart, the aggression they have. They know they had no way to be ready for it. Chubbs goes down right now. Good pressure from Logan, actually. He's been a big presence since he managed to connect to this game. Mika, though, on the back. Might be looking for something under, but caught out by Hunter, who was just searching through sewers. Pushing him back, a shot away, finds Rayman in the bend, and that's going to make this main push significantly easier. And look, Lenny, uncontested. No one's looking at Roller Coaster. He's basically free firing from back there, but rotates back for now. Gonna come under, and I was hoping we were going to see a miracle shot, but looks like we're just going to see a cart-sided stalemate for now, but maybe not. Aggression here in main, even with the respawns coming up, they still want to take Ben. They're going to force out Logan and completely control this side.
Yeah, they're trying to walk in right now. Chubbs is taking that angle, does get dropped, isn't able to help, but he does help force that Uber. Now it's got the side on Rain, gonna take this Uber into the gun. It's sapped by Shotaway. They're gonna take that in short order. Players on the cart gonna get more ground down. Dog getting stabbed out by Shotaway means no Devilman denies Spy. Lenny hits his 7th in a row, and the point's gone. It's over.
Lenny hit that immediately before the pause in real time. It was basically the frame of the pause, so good timing by them. They just wanted to savor the moment of Lenny going on another insane kill streak, and we'll see what they want to do. Stack it on this cart for now. They actually have the upper hold here. on the side of Amicitia. They've realized how good it is after not taking it on their entire offense. They have a pretty good split right now. Rayman a little far back. Not looking at the only decloak corner. Could be a little more forward, keeping eyes up there. They actually don't have a lot of pressure in Spiral right now either. Just Logan up there. Double stacking. They have a lot of people stacked on this one side. Spiral could be weak if Fred 5 decided to take advantage of it.
Yeah, a lot of players in this upper, and Uber is even. Say's running the Huntsman. He gets a kill with it, so clearly it's better than the sniper rifle for him at the moment. Both medics do have Uber. Looks like SB are going to take this underneath. Their medic is in Spiral right now. Sack came in, and he gets a second. Say, the Huntsman's the play apparently. Medic did get taken low, gets a sandwich in Spiral for SB. So where they take this Uber could go underneath. Looks like they're going to take it into backstairs, but they're kind of just dilly-dallying around here. They could try to make a good time here. Don't want to trade Uber quite yet from what it looks like.
Looks like they want to force the other team into a bad rotation, but the other team doesn't need to rotate when they hold upper, so I'm not sure exactly what Fred 5 is looking for here. Looks like they're going to come in, potentially call out Rayman. It is a heavy solo, and this is actually a decent spot for it, especially since there are flashes on the other side. They need to take advantage of the distraction, though, and move it in main, but Dirt getting caught out by Johnny Say. Killed by Chubbs in the bottom is Hunter. For the main, Rayman goes down, though. That's a lot of comms actually missing out of the picture from them. Great arrow, I think, by Pablo. Maybe he grabbed the pack at the last moment. No, it was a good bow, keeping him up, but Logan does get the trade out, rotates back to upper. Still solid control here. They're a little distracted, doesn't see the entire team rotating to kill him, but Fred 5, even with no one contesting them, kind of gives it up, but Hunter looks like he's in position to take it back.
It's just Dog and upper. Dog can't win this, and their medic is trapped. DC Creeper is stranded in Spiral. He's going to the enemy spawn at this point, being chased down by Hunter. Even if he does get that
kill. He got a kill?
Yeah, he got the kill, but he's so out of position.
Wait.
He does get taken down by Dur on the backside.
He was on the pan! He might have been able to get over! He was on the pan! He could have got it, but he wanted to hear the clang instead. Sari's trying to get a taunt kill on the card onto Carson as Logan tries to commit but gets hovered by Chubbs, and 6:22 currently on the cap for them. After that, and that's about the time it took Amicitia to capture 3 points last time, so I would consider that a pretty solid offense for Fred 5.
It's solid. It's not anything super special, but it's definitely good, above average. You're fine with that if you've seen how this match is going so far for Fred 5. And right now, they just need to hold for 6 minutes, and they will be advancing to the next round. So pretty sure they're confident in their chances here.
I mean, I would be too if I was on their side, especially after an offense like that with how it's going. I'd be interested to see if Shotaway stays in this position, because I feel like everybody checks that. I'm not sure if I'm wrong about that.
It might be one of those things where it's been so long that people forget. I want to digress to something Shotaway does. That's actually genius, and I don't know how long he's been doing it for. On last, instead of sapping the dispenser to go up into upper, yeah, he taunt kills because it's instant. The taunt kill's instant. The sapper takes time.
But there is a way to tell though, because the first couple hits.
Yeah, it's still faster than the sapper, I think. It's still better. I think it's interesting, and it's probably better if he's doing it both rounds. That or he's just being funny.
He better time it well, because I'm going to gut you like a Cornish game hen. From the other side, it's going to be a bit of a giveaway. Dog tries to get onto Lenny, but because he's on the little pole, he can't get killed. Manwich sack coming in potentially. Rayman goes flying through the air, gets taken down by Lenny, and Logan cannot commit with all the denial coming in. Tries to commit a little bit later, does get some decent rockets, but is taken down. No Uber forced out, no damage taken by Toy on the defending side. And we're actually moving out Dog, though, now. After that sack, he died so early, he can take some extra positioning here, but he's ahead of his team. Rain is on him. Pablo is on him, chipping him down, and he's going to have to take this flank angle if he wants to make anything happen.
Yeah, a lot of players got picked off at the end for A, and the power got blown in as well, so a lot of players go down.
Them down.
And, yeah, Shotaway decloaks on DZ walking out of spawn, so no medic, no Uber charge. Very little hope. They're already down a minute in this round, and no Uber to push means the defense is going to be strong. Uber is out from the side of SB, walking forward their Soldier and Pyro of all classes, trying to force AN back, and they don't really get that many kills, but still help them take some ground. They do end up retreating as you don't have that Uber defend anymore, and they kept everyone alive. It's good for them.
At the very least, it was kind of a free Uber. You got the trade back and forth. Pablo goes down, but he trades
Micah.
Micah, perfect positioning there, catches Toy on the retreat onto Hill, and this could be something that Amicitia want to play off of, even with Say going down, but Lenny. This is one of the best points in the game, I would say, for a sniper if you're protected properly. Getting buffed if you're not running the Razorback, and you can see why with him rattling off those shots straight in a row. Chubbs is holding this side here. DZ, bit of a respawn though, wants to mix it up with that death on the other side. He's swapping to the Crits Krieg. Want to maybe abuse the fact that Dog, even with all his deaths, is kind of dominating when he gets into these 1v1s. Crits is definitely a way to showcase that. They have it now. If they don't know Chubbs is here, though, Chubbs can completely wipe the floor with them, but Chubbs isn't looking at the target. He's now looking at Dog, and he dies to a headshot from Say.
Say with the Huntsman again, saving his team from disaster, so clearly that's the play. He should just run Huntsman the entire match, and he would have had it better than a 7-1 SBS on Lakeside. Either way, SB do have presence. They're going to try to walk forward here. They don't have Uber, but they have DM. They get killed on Say, DZ Creeper, Rain hitting all the Iron Bomber pipes in the world, and getting his team that advantage right back.
Well, that's the advantage of 5 ping, right? Zag being able to connect those pipes for sure. I don't think I really like Chubbs, his prioritization there, pushing. You have to shoot the target that's getting critzed, and he could have taken down the demo, but chose not to. Lenny taunting after getting the pick on Johnny and Main and getting away. That's a confident play, I guess. If you had to say anything about
Creeper is dead again, the shot away.
Possibly.
So.
Good flank by him, and he almost got away too, pulling back Logan. And with that, they could refight, but they have to go Rayman now. They use the Uber, they lose the gun, but what a well-timed Uber on a heavy. This isn't bad with the whole team spread around him. They have to get some more kills, though. Say kind of caught out.
Watch for Say to do it.
By the sticky Say's coming in. He can go for the taunt kill, but he doesn't hit the arrow on the drop from the window. Now,
if he does, that's the highlight of the season, for Say.
Oh, I mean, for sure. I mean, that's the highlight of the season in general, period, for sure. And people kind of getting forced out into the side caves, but Amasitia getting completely stonewalled on this hill push.
Yep, it's a small Uber ad for Toy. I haven't seen if TC Creeper swap back. He is still on that crits, actually, so they will build faster and get this up before SB has an Uber to defend. Kills getting traded on the hillside now as Pablo and Rain go down for Poseidon. It's a 1 numbers ad for the side of AN. They're going to try to walk forward onto this hillside, get this corner pressure. Dog is forward alone. Somebody help that man. He's zoning off the enemy spawn. Heal him. Heal him.
Heals. No, it's fine. He doesn't need crit heals, that's fine. Micah manages to pick off Chubbs there, coming out of spawn, and 250, 2 points. This isn't impossible. I would say it's going to be hard, but it's not impossible.
Already. Just take out Lenny.
Lenny.
That
was pretty early. They also got Pablo too, but the Uber is used. I didn't think Toy was under that much pressure, but half of the Uber left. They might at least kill Dog, but Rain has to disengage. Rain gets juggled though. It might not even end up saving him in the end, but Dog running the lockable means he can't get any splash, any pipes to keep the pressure up and the aggression right now. Ramesiti and May Rain.
He didn't mean to hit that. There's no way he had to hit that pipe.
I don't think he did. And a great fadeaway pipe too from Dog onto Carson. He's
no way
and
he meant to do that.
They have total control over third. This can keep rolling, Zag.
Dog is 1v9 gaming right now. We talked about Say playing a single player game. It's Dog. He's completely carrying his team through upward to this point. 2 minutes left. The card's going to capped with about 140 left for them. So if they're able to keep this Uber, they do have that full Uber ad to work with as well. It's actually a crits ad. Yeah, crits ad.
Yeah, it's crits.
Crits ad for Dog. If Dog can get another wipe and win his team around here, then he just had the round of the season.
Here it comes.
Here it is.
It's coming in up top, but it looks like it's getting just completely stopped by the gun. It's getting over Chubbs, but the Vista Steel are going to keep him alive through it. Imagine, could you fathom actually healing your demo? It's happening, and Amasitia are finally able to get the ball rolling here. Say, moving up top, trying to catch Dur out. Dur doesn't know. He gets shot, knocks back the Cleaner's carbine to get the cleanup, but not enough fire rate there as Dur whips him down with the disciplinary action. Chubbs pushing in main, no Uber to slow him down, but Dog finally getting healed, manages to live through the onslaught of bullets from Chubbs.
Yep, and it is that crits for the side of the offense, remember, so they will not have a solid push going into last if SB are able to get this Uber. It is very close. They're going to build a bit faster, but if they lose players here, then they won't be able to walk in. It's going to be 90% to 90%. If they can get this crits off and immediately kill Toy, then the round could be theirs.
They're trying to do it here. They might lose somebody. He has to flash everybody, but they don't flash. They solo on Rain, and they lose 2 people. This could still be better if Rain connects everything, but all they find is a gun. Quick Sticky's detonated a little bit early. Toy surfs into spawn barely, but this gun is going to be so crucial, staying up to keep them out. Logan actually better of Dur up top. Poseidon's moving the card. 50 seconds left. They have to stop this cap, and Shadowy might be the one to do it as Rayman gets stabbed on the ground.
It's 45 seconds left. It's definitely possible. Say gonna get Rain with that Huntsman up top. No, Demo Man, the spam cart is so bad for them. But Chubbs is posted up on the balcony, and the gun is still there. It finally goes down to spam from the side of Logan, but the damage is done on that side. Dog in a solo on cart does get caught. Say gets Chubbs again. Say just run the Huntsman all the time. That said, they do get collapsed in. Chubbs did get a lot of kills before he went down. And the defense is able to stabilize here. Only 20 seconds left for AN. No Uber or crits is going to be had for this last push.
It's not impossible though. Logan though, guys up top, and Rayman still on the respawn from that earlier bomb. 2 seconds left, no heavy. They have to stack the carpet. There's sticks all over it. Look at the positioning of those sticks too. Around the other side. Looks like someone actually already left. For Amasitia, they're going to try. They're stacking the point. Hunter's so low, but they get air blasted off the point. Not enough time now. No overtime left. And Fred 5 move forward to the semifinals.
That was the best round we didn't deserve.
That was, I feel like we deserved it after those last couple
I
games,
guess,
but
yeah, in that regard, yeah. But it's still, even though we'll look at this and say, that what a close last round, what an exciting last round. Dog is really good. Heal that man more, please. Someone just press
please,
left
for the
click
love
on him
of
with a
God.
minigun. It still overall was a dominating match for the most part, right? Fred 5 look really strong going into these semifinals. They're likely going to be playing against, I believe, AD are ahead in their match if they haven't won
Okay.
already. So it's it's going to be interesting going forward.
It will be for sure moving in if they can keep this momentum. But AD, I mean, I've heard they were the ones who were 7-0 at the end of the season, right? They were the ones that were kind of impossible to stop. But if they keep clicking, if I keep clicking like this, it could be possible for sure. I think maybe a little less taunting could help them out in those closer matchups. But I mean, we know that Amasita were taking it a little less seriously, but Flair, what was it? Really, just the crits on Dog that put them so far to the cap?
I mean, frankly, yeah, quite simply. It wasn't so much the crits killed people, which they did, but it bought them so much more space that they could work with after, because people actually, once you put heals on Dog, it's not just the fact that the crits work. Now Dog's getting healed. Now he can walk forward and do what Dog does best. And once they get that, there's so much more space to work with. If it wasn't a 6 minute, 30 seconds roughly time on Fred 5's offense, Amnesty actually might have been able to pull that back and maybe get an okay, like a 7 minute time on Upward, given another 30 seconds. Just it's the crits wasn't so much the uber type of crits as it was the fact that now you put heals in your demo man, there you go. I mean, even with, say, on Huntsman, even with him kind of soft throwing that game there, Dog is just nuts, man. What are you gonna say about that?
Say
I don't
got
think
7 Huntsman kills. I don't know.
he actually did pretty okay on the Huntsman. I'm not
Better
gonna
he did
lie.
normally.
I
That's
mean,
unfortunate
better
to
than
say.
I
normal,
don't want to play that
but-
team on Steel because that team will farm you for sure with the Huntsman. That's the map where it's going to see the most. And I know we do have the logs up on stream, so I'm giving them a little bit of a look now.
I really want to talk about the Dog Show because for the first time, for first round, first half, all match, he at least even healed with Raymond. They both
I
had
was gonna say
29% heals.
somehow he
Didn't
still
get
got less
out
healing than
healed,
Raven.
but he even healed, right? And Raymond, despite getting the same heals, had 150 DPM. Dog had 500. I'm actually getting vibes back from the old gold season when ODB was on T5D. That's how much of a solo demo man carry this was looking for AN's last round. That said, it's still interesting if they can get this their playstyle where Dog actually gets healed and maybe their players are playing around his damage a lot more instead of taking their own fights. AN could go really AN could improve a lot. Like we said, this is their early season in Invite. They were not expected to do too well. They're not bad. They're not looking bad for Invite, right? 5-2 regular season. They have good players. They have potential. They just have to put it together and find a playstyle.
Yeah, for sure. I think they just need to do some review. Honestly, just look at a demo. It doesn't even have to be of this match. You don't have to watch yourself losing. Just watch some teams putting in going to the right places. I feel like they were just too hesitant sometimes. They were just too split, and just getting on the same page, I think it's going to be a really big deal for them. Gotta say though, further shoutouts on the side of Amasitia to Logan Lizar, ringing in a little bit late, having I think a fantastic performance on Soldier, out damaging and getting one more kill, even with one more death than Dur. And I thought Dur's been pretty fantastic in the set so far. I want to look at the picks in general. I want to see who was kind of getting the best of the medics on each side. And Shotaway and Letty, 3 and 2 respectively, too. The pick classes, do you think it's just, Flair, do you think it's just harder to shut down the pick classes when your team is kind of checked out? Or do you think there was more of a standout from those two players?
I mean, when you feel like you've lost the game, you've lost morale, you're not even going to try. So that kind of goes without saying. When you're checked out, you're not going to
primary weapon choices.
primary.
Listen, the Sydney Sleeper is not a hard throw.
Did he
No,
win an
not the
SBS
Sydney,
with the
but
Huntsman?
it's like a curve, right? First he's like, I'm gonna still stay on hit scan and I'm gonna go to Sydney, and then he's like, oh, just why am I even thinking? Why am I even trying? Let's go Huntsman and drop down from window and see if I can get Toy from that second push.
Honestly, he might have genuinely killed Toy if he taunted. If he actually dropped out of the window and immediately taunted, it actually might have been possible.
Alternate universe theory. There's a universe
2 seconds
where it
from taunt
happens.
to 2 seconds from taunt to kill.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
I mean,
He
possible, but
lived about 2 seconds. I mean, he missed the shot, and then there was like a second or two.
It's true, but standing still, it's funny. It's a funny play. If it worked, it'd go down in the books. But
we would definitely hear X-Time talking about it. on a Lucky League edited
What
video
is up,
on their
gamers?
on their site for sure.
Ladies
but
and gentlemen.
Wasn't bad.
On the other side, by the way, I don't think we mentioned this, but Apollodosh, I think, won their match 2-1, is what I was hearing. Demento posted in chat, alerting
They dropped
me to
a
that.
round to Scourier. That's very interesting. It's a very good sign for Fred 5 going into next week's matchup as well.
Yeah, I think so. Going into them, it could mean a slightly weaker Apollodosh. It's also good for Squirtier, too, if they did manage to take a map.
Yeah, they could actually contend.
Oh, never mind. Someone said it was 2-0. Jacob said 2-1 earlier. I blame Jacob. Oh, it was 3-1 on Viaduct, 2-1, 2-0 map score overall. So about the same then. But I mean, if they took a map, if they took a round off Apollodosh on Viaduct, that's still a little bit better than I would say Amasita looked today.
It's better than we would expect from Scourier. So we might get 2 very competitive semifinal matchups next week.
It's possible. I mean, I'd love to see it. For sure, I would absolutely love to be able to see some serious competition back and forth. Because I mean, with I guess like with the juggernauts that have been playing for so long gone, it really is kind of possibly anyone's season, right? Moving forward.
Yeah, and there's so many possibilities for what could happen come this end of the season. We really don't know which team is going to place where. There is a somewhat decent split. Flair said it earlier of the top 2 and the bottom 2 of the playoff teams, but still, like, there's so much gameplay to be had that could be really interesting to watch. We don't exactly know, especially who's going to win Invite, and that's probably one of the first times where you can, probably the first season of RGL Highlander where you can go into grand finals and not have a definitive favorite.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of that, the next matchup we have next week, I'm assuming. Yeah, it is. I want to know about those teams playing against each other. How close was their last matchup? I mean, Flair or Zag, either of you, if you want to talk about the matchup between the two teams.
Zag, you go for that if you want.
Oh, thanks. I have to look it up. I had it on my monitor real quick. Let's see, league matches. It looks like their match took place on. It was Upward, and Apollodosh 3-0'd them, so.
3-0'd them on Upward. That's impressive. They even played an extra round they didn't need.
The points was 3-0, so 2-0.
Oh, so it was a 2-0. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, wow, they were just like, we got a shot, and then they just lost a third half on
something
Upward.
I actually want to point out is that when we saw Fred 5 do that play on their first Upward push, where they popped Uber with their sack, right?
Yeah.
And they used it to, I think it was a test, right? I think they used that in an official to test it for next week if Upward does get picked, and they ban something like Vigil, right? And Upward gets picked because they did lose by Apollodosh 3-0 or 2-0 on the map. Sorry. Maybe that's one of their answers. Maybe they wanted to test it out here. That's why they didn't do it a second time, because like, okay, this works. We can try it out.
Right. I mean, it's something. I don't know that I'd agree with it. Against Apollodosh, I'm not sure that's going to work out, because even though you might kind of overwhelm them, if you don't pick off enough people in an initial sack wave and with the Uber coming in, you're just going to end up feeding people during the Uber, because you're just everyone's sacked in all at once, and then you're going to be down numbers for the post Uber, which on Upward first especially is a total. It kills your push completely. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I think it mostly worked because.
They could just look for the sniper and then give Lenny open season to go off.
It's definitely. I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
The purpose of that Uber trade for sure was trade Ubers, kill the gun. Now we have no Uber, no gun. We can play cleanly on the left side. That was for sure the gameplay they wanted to take.
The saving grace on that would have been shot away coming in for the sap and guaranteeing that gun to go down.
He did.
For sure. Yeah, he did.
That was the plan. And they executed. And I think if that explicitly is what happens, that's going to be the whole crux of the strategy. If they trade Ubers and the gun doesn't go down, I feel like that's kind of a completely flubbed situation, especially if they don't pop. I think just the perfect storm of the Pyro coming back to kill shot away as the Uber gets traded, I think it's smart, but I think showing it in a casted game, that might not have been the best decision. Because if Apollodosh, I mean, I'm sure they're watching this game. I'm sure they're gonna at least go back. I'm sure if they're watching it now, it's gonna be right now hearing us talk about it and talk about how good of a strategy it was.
A lot of esports, you try strategies in scrims that with other teams that you plan on using eventually. Especially, I know in battle royale esports, that's the thing where you try drops, you try rotations, and then you use them in officials. And Well, yes, it does allow a team to force counter, like, give them time to try to make some counterplay against the strategy. It still forces them to think. And if they're trying to find more counterplay and you have another strat, right? Say you have two backup strats and they use this as their primary because it's on upward first, right?
Mhm.
Then that could just be a whole nother bag of worms to open up. And if Fred 5 come into next week, the semifinal, grand final preview possibly, with ideas on how to take that match, right? It could just stir up these last couple weeks of Highlanders so much and make it one of the most exciting conclusions we've seen.
For sure. I'm always excited to see some good Highlander. I mean, I've always been a Highlander preferer for since 2012, as sad as it is to say that. So definitely excited to see some serious competition, some serious back and forth between all these teams. And it's not like these are mostly new, like these are players who've been kind of on the grind for a while, and a lot of them are finally getting their time in the spotlight to shine. Are there any from between AD and Fred 5? Who do you think are going to be the standouts? Again, either Flair or Zag. Well, Flair. Who do you think are the standouts between those teams that we'd have to watch when that matchup does come up?
Pablo on Scout and Wish. I'm looking for the flank versus flank. Like that's how I'm looking at it. Because Rain, you usually see Rain on Soldier in previous seasons, right? And I'm against Arts Hispanian's demo. That demo v demo matchup, it's not going to be the most exciting, but the flank matchup is going to be really intense, really deadlocked, and I want to see these fights turn out as much as possible. Then Lenny versus Shay. Naturally, it's
Yeah.
that's going to be the big
That's
one.
the
Right
SBS of the season because Fallen Lord took a break.
Yeah, especially with how he looked today. I mean, Lenny looked, I'd say, phenomenal through this game. And I mean, on the other side, I don't want to talk about AD Fred 5 the whole time. And this also means we're guaranteed the losers matchup, right, between Squirt Ye and Amasitia Nova. And someone in chat, Paren, she mentioned that I think they're ringing Fallen for the rest of playoffs.
He's back again.
Fallen's back. Tell a friend. But with that known, who in that matchup, again, either of you, would you want to be looking at to make the difference to have either team move forward in the losers bracket?
Fallen versus Waterson. As much as we don't want to keep saying SVS, Fallen
It's
versus
Highlander,
Waterson,
man. It's Sniper the
Fallen
game.
versus Waterson would have been the best sniper matchup like in a long time, a couple seasons ago, right? Like that would be the top two dogs going up against each other. Waterson, he's come back after a short break. Fallen's been playing Scout, and he didn't have the best season last season, but it's still those are two of the best sniper players of the past few years going up against each other.
And anybody else on the teams? What?
I'm starting to. It's gonna have to be the demo and Scout going against each other, especially since I have this hunch they're going to be picking up on lots of Koth maps. You're going to be seeing on Squirtier's side Use and Sandblast, veterans of the Sixes scene, and bringing with them their ability to take fights. And then Dog, the Demo Man Savant with Poseidon. I'm not sure Poseidon stacks up against Sandblast, and I might even go so far as to say I'm certain. But yeah, once you take the Fallen versus Waterson out of the equation, you're looking at Dog maybe carrying Poseidon through with the fights, or maybe just getting run over by the combination of Use and Sandblast. It really could go either way at that point.
And since you're talking about scouts, there is one last thing I want to touch on before we wrap up. Having played against these players before, less so Pablo, but the style matchup I think between Wish and Pablo, to me, Wish is the scout that I never see unless he's at 185. And I feel like as soon as he sees a losing fight, he's out of there. At least in terms of versus heavies. Maybe my idea is skewed because that's how he kind of chooses to fight against the heavy class. But do you think the style difference will favor either team in the current Highlander meta? Between Pablo kind of going in and Wish playing a lot more cautious.
Both teams in general notorious W holders.
Very much so.
Wish does take a lot more calculated engagements than Pablo, so that style does clash. I do think both teams are going to be holding W at each other, and the stronger finger will win in that matchup. So far this season, it's been AD. They've been stronger across the board, but this, as far as stylistically, it's going to be very similar.
All right, well, any final thoughts on this matchup, guys? Anything that you wanted to say that I didn't ask a specific question about?
I want to see more Huntsmans dropping out a window.
Oh my god.
That's just, it's what I never realized I wanted.
Well, anyways, hopefully we can see more next week, regardless of what matchup we decide to watch. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you very much, Dolphin, on the production for holding it down, as always. Thank you, Flair and Zag, for joining me this week. I wasn't expecting to have to cast this week, but
Shout to Alto
Worked out.
Chef,
Shout
not
out to
here.
Alto. Hopefully his throat ends up feeling better. Maybe he'll be back next week, and you all should be too. Whatever game we decide to do, I want to see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in for the RGL Highlander Season 4 quarterfinals. Only better games next week. See you then.